the cloud. Hi everyone, welcome to the Rarible DAO community call on August 26, 2021. We have a pretty light agenda for the day and a fun activity at the end, which I hope everyone hangs out and participates in. So we have a new community member, Mariana, who has a YouTube channel and has been creating content in the NFT space. She compiled some news for us, so we're gonna have some news highlights in the NFT space for people for a few minutes. And then we're gonna have an update from DAOHaus, which has been working on a DAO NFT integration. And then, yeah, hopefully from then, we're just gonna jump into a working group activity. So what I'm thinking is that today we're gonna break it out into 2 groups, or maybe 4, but 2 categories. So one category is gonna be to brainstorm around NFTs that Rarible DAO could produce ourselves. So like, what would that look like? And you know, what would be really fun and innovative, and like how we could do something fun there. And then the other working group is going to be around a coalition that we're starting to form around projects building on the protocol. So there's a lot of applications building on the protocol. What we're going to try to do is a working group to ideate on what we can do there in terms of building network effects and like some benefits to the coalition members, and you know, synergies that we could form for the different projects. So without further ado, maybe put the music down. All right, thanks, Mark. Marianne, do you want to get started and just you know, give some highlights of the NFT space? You can share your screen if you want. I can make you co-host.
Yeah, sure. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Yeah. Okay, just 1 second here. It's asking me to open my system preferences.
Oh, I see. Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we can also
just 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, we can come back to you if you want. And also in the meantime, if I could ask people not to type in the chat and just write your preference of which group you want to be in. So you can say NFT or coalition, and then when I go to break out the groups, I'll just use that. So if you want to be on the
Hey,
NFT,
Eric, I just have to leave the meeting, so very quick. So it can, it's telling me that for me to share my screen, I have to quit the meeting and then come back in. Just 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. So yeah, others just write NFT or coalition. NFT is talking about what NFTs we could produce as a DAO. Coalition is, you know, how we can create a coalition of applications, and you know, what the benefits could be for being a coalition member, and what the, you know, the economies of scale we could have as a network. And then we're going to break those groups out, and then we're, you know, going to ideate and then come back and then share what we've talked about. If I could ask both groups to take notes, so that after the call I can take some of that, and you know, we can like have some action items that come out of that would be super useful. So let's see, how do I? Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to create breakout rooms, and then I'll just turn it on. So it's going to take me a little bit of time. Let me see. So I'll create one group for the coalition, and then I'm going to create 2 groups for the NFTs. All right. So All right, I guess while we wait, do we have Lewis here from Unnamed Mystery Project? Not Lewis Giga. Lewis and Mira, are you available?
Yes, you caught me on mute. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Lewis. While we wait for Mariana, Lewis, do you want to give a little like overview? I've been working with Lewis over the past couple of weeks on a project that we're hopefully going to be releasing as part of the DAO soon. Lewis, do you want to kind of just give like a quick TLDR on that and what people can expect over the coming weeks for that project?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys still hear me all right? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, so been working with a couple folks, Eric being instrumental in helping polish the plans, but really hope to attract a ton of talent and projects to the Rarible protocol on the whole. Essentially an incubator of sorts. What are things that we could offer prospective builders? Is there infrastructure that needs to be built? Are there services? Are there things like subscriptions? Are there individual creators? Are there things that we can come up with that need to be built? Or are there ideas that creators have that we could potentially help them either build faster by connecting with, some of the DevRel folks, potentially funding them with things like Rari tokens, aligning incentives as much as possible, and then enabling them to build as best as possible. For a quick background on me, I worked at a startup for a little bit right out of school, went and worked at Google for 7 years, including starting a company within Google's incubator called Area 120, for anybody that's curious. Started a company outside of Google that I grew and handed off, and have been buying and selling Bitcoin since 2014, which was a miss after 2010, but neither here nor there. Traded all the altcoins in 2017 and have just been curious as to how to help enable others to build better and faster based on some of the stuff I've seen along the way at various startups I've advised, incubators I've either been in or part of. So essentially like bringing that model, figuring out what the different pieces might look like and how to bring them to life on top of the Rarible protocol.
Cool. Thanks, Lewis. So yeah, expect more from that in the coming weeks. I think it's going to be something very exciting.
And any ideas or feedback that anybody might have, even just from that quick overview, would be very interesting to review or share. So feel free. I'm on Discord at Crimblue, which I think Eric can probably share as well.
Yeah. All right. All right, Mariana, you got it working on your end? I gotta make you co-host.
Yeah, let's see. Let me try now. Yeah. Okay, is it working now? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. So this week, we started off with the Visa's announcement on Monday that it bought a CryptoPunk, more specifically on August 19th. And they made a blog post on their website where the head of crypto, well, they have a head of crypto right now, that said that the main reason behind they purchased this CryptoPunk was to learn about the space, the NFT space. And they also said that Visa believes that NFTs will play an important role in the future of retail, social media, entertainment, and commerce. So yeah, I mean, in my view, I think this primarily is a very interesting marketing strategy because, I mean, on Monday, everybody on Twitter and other medias as well, they were all talking about it. It was covered by all the major news outlets as well. It gave Visa some attention, so it was, in my opinion, a very good marketing strategy, marketing campaign, let's say. And also, I think it was kind of shocking to see, a legacy traditional company like Visa that, took decades to even start taking crypto seriously to just go and buy an NFT. I think it was well, it was kind of shocking to me, to tell the truth. Also, well, right after Visa bought this CryptoPunk, right after actually they made the announcement, there was 90 CryptoPunks. Let me try to change the screen here. There is a, okay. Yes, so 90 CryptoPunks get snapped up in only 1 hour. And according to Lava Labs, the sales was ranging from, well, what's saying here around 180K to 250K. Yeah, so the market went a little bit crazy after that announcement. Also on CryptoPunks, we had the announcement by Lava Labs that the CryptoPunks images and their attributes are now live on chain. So basically, before this, they made this move, only the cryptographic hash of the image was stored in the contract. But as they said, since the images was fairly small, 24 by 24 pixels, it was possible for them to store them on Ethereum blockchain directly. Yeah. Also, well, moving on now to some interesting NFT use cases that I saw this week. The first one is this use case of an IP NFT that was sold to a DAO, more specifically the Vita DAO. If you look at their profile here on Twitter, let me see if I could make it work. Yeah, the internet is not helping me today. Just 1 second. Yeah, but anyway, this is an IP NFT that represents full legal IP rights plus data access control to biotech research. So it was purchased for $320,000, and yeah, the IP NFT was transferred to full ownership of Vita DAO, which will fund the research project, which is very cool. Yeah, Vita DAO actually is here. Vita DAO is a collective aiming to democratize research into longevity therapeutics, focused on early stages where researchers struggle to obtain funding. Yeah, to me, this represents a very interesting use case for NFTs because, well, it breaks barriers to research funding, and it also supports scientific developments. I think this is very cool. I think this was the first time this ever happened. Another one that we have here, also another interesting use case, is this project Afghanistan Stand Up for Unity NFTs, which was made by this initiative called Stand Up for Unity, which is already an initiative to help Afghan citizens. Even Dalai Lama is in it. And well, the initiative is actually a global awareness campaign for solidarity with Afghanistan to promote awareness about their growing humanitarian crisis. So they want to mobilize artists, musicians, collectors, and the NFT community to participate, creating, donating NFT art, and or via special events or performances. So they want to raise awareness and funds to help relocate displaced and prosecuted people, use blockchain technology to transfer mutual aid funds for resettlement, and set up an easily accessible system to distribute funds to those in need. Like, to me, a very interesting NFT use case as well. And last but not least, we have here the announcement by NFTFi. NFTFi is a marketplace for NFT collateralized loan, which saw its best month to date last month in July, when it hit its 100th loan. And well, it has already facilitated $5 million worth of loan on an NFT collateral. And I mean, this still represents a very small figure if we compare to the overall NFT market sales figures volume. But this market is increasing, is growing exponentially. So, I mean, we expect this to keep growing as the NFT market keeps growing as well. So, you know, this is a very good opportunity in the NFT market, in my opinion. Yeah, and this is what we have for today.
Thanks, Mariana. Yeah, you can stop screen sharing, and we'll pass it on to DAOHaus. I don't know who's speaking.
Yeah, I can get it there.
Need a screen share?
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right, go for it. Yeah, 5-10 minutes, and then we'll jump into the breakout rooms.
Sure. Cool. Yeah. So I'll take you through kind of what we've done recently. What you would do kind of to start being able to use the proposals that we've added is that you would go to Boosts and add the Rarible playlist here. And so this will take you through kind of setting it up on your DAO, and then you'll have access to the proposals that we've done recently. So these proposals will help you to sell or set a buyout or eventually buy from Rarible as well. You can access these right now. We have sell set up. So you can basically choose an NFT that you're holding from the DAO. So we have two here. We have this CryptoPunk and a Gitron. So we would just select one from our DAO.
This is on testnet, by the way, just for those who
Sorry?
This is on testnet, right? So just for
Yeah.
They're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, this is this is just on repeat for now. Yeah, good clarification. Thank you. And then this is held by our Peanut minion, and we can set our auction start and end date and set a price that we want to receive. So we fill these in. We also have to create the order data from your API. So we'll take these values and submit for order data. And so once that's all filled out, we can hit submit, and that will take us through the voting process, which I've already set up just to save some time here. But basically then you'll have this proposal, voted it through, and we can just process it. And then this allows us to just list it on Rarible. So we can hit execute and it will sign the transaction.
And some of the context here, hey, this is Deacon from DAOHaus too, is we've had a lot of requests and a lot of people are already building DAOs that are managing NFTs. A DAO owning an NFT kind of under collective participatory ownership is becoming more and more popular as we've seen. So we wanted just to make a nice tight integration with Rarible where people could sell NFTs if they already hold them in their DAO, or go and buy an NFT off of Rarible from someone else. They can also kind of have a gallery where they're selling their NFTs to just people. So every DAO will have their own kind of art gallery that they can do. It opens up a lot of different use cases, like you were just talking about. We're seeing things with like purpose-driven DAOs for buying NFT, things like Party DAO. There's, you know, all these things can be done now kind of in a Moloch with on-chain governance. And yeah, so that's just a little bit of context.
Yeah, what's super interesting to me is like, I was actually just talking to Jake about this, like party bid or party DAO or whatever it is. You know, he just, there's this NFT that just sold for like, I don't know, $10 million. And so you have 1,000 holders of ownership, but there's no DAO and no way to govern that NFT. And like those NFTs are meant, they I think what he was talking about is like it's an NFT that can be used for governance in another DAO, and those like shard holders have no way to like govern now because there's no like entity around it. So it's interesting to think about what DAOHaus could do to like fill that need. Like what if you could crowdfund as part of a DAOHaus DAO? So like you have a DAOHaus DAO that holds an NFT, and then you crowdfund, and then everybody can govern that and also, you know, do things with it. I feel like it's a big improvement on like current like models that have crowdfunding and co-ownership of DAOs.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting because I mean, that's one of the coolest things we've seen about these NFT, you know, PFP drops and things is that communities and tribes and these different groups are spinning up kind of just by this shared interest around a project. It adds like another utility and kind of stickiness to these NFTs. So it's not just a flip game, you know. It's like, okay, you know, I actually really like this NFT and I really like this community and I want us to do new things with it, like getting into an actual DAO where things are on chain and non-custodial and have those kind of transparency and backup things. I think would be really important. I think we'll see like the creators and the curators and the collectors and stuff doing a lot of interesting things together.
Yeah, totally
there was two other kind of proposals that we didn't show that we're working on. Is a buyout proposal. So this is kind of like one of the mechanics of like exiting a DAO. You maybe one option would be to shard out an NFT or factionalize it, but another may be a buyout where it's just like, okay, well you're exiting and we're on good terms, so let's just like give you some stables or whatever to cover that. And the other one is actually tributing a whole NFT for membership for some amount of shares and reputation in the DAO. And yeah, but we've been doing experiments. We've been sharding NFTs and then like from the DAO throwing them up on into a liquidity pool and then starting a farm, and so it's a lot of interesting things can happen. So it's been fun.
right.
Sorry, that was really poor timing. Just crashed.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I think it was a sweet demo, and yeah, really great to see progress. I mean, I think there's gonna be a ton of interest around this. We just have to, in my mind, it's almost like a product question. Like, what can we build that is gonna generate a ton of excitement? Like I feel like just the ability to buy and sell NFTs on a DAO is cool. You almost need like a focal point, like a use case or like a product or like a mini app that like really demonstrates what you can do, allows people to crowdfund and bid, and then like, hey, and you're part of this DAO, go to your DAO, boom, you go to your DAO and like, you know, oh shit, our community has governance over this thing, or you know, something like that would get people super excited.
Yeah, I really wanted to start just like some friends and other people have some like of these like art blocks, NFTs and stuff, and like creating like a generative DAO where like you can kind of crowdfund around drops. I mean, we've already got like quite a few people that would want to jump in on something like that. So perhaps that could be like the flagship DAO that we launch out of this, is some sort of like, you know, generative collecting DAO where we.
Yeah, I think that we'd like to have a couple of those kind of flagship ideas. So if anyone is wanting to experiment with that, that would be something that DAOHaus would be really interested in. So definitely up for any ideas to kind of.
Yeah, I think it could really take off if we get the right combination of product, stickiness, you know, like I don't know, I could see something really blowing up if we hit it right. So yeah, let's think about that. All right, so that's that. We went over the news, we went over Lewis's update, and the incubation we're doing there. I just wanted to point out, so we are wrapping up the developer relations side of things. I introduced Edward here. I don't know if anyone else from the DevRel side is here. If you are, you can say hi. I'll keep moving on. So I don't see any names right now. All right, so I think now we have half an hour, which is a nice amount of time, and we're gonna get into breakout rooms. So again, there's people who didn't really say whether they wanted, you know, the NFT room or the coalition room, but there's going to be two rooms. Actually, there's going to be 5 rooms. So one set of rooms is going to be talking about NFTs and how we as a DAO can create NFTs. And I want everybody to start thinking about, like, what are the hottest NFT projects out there right now? Like, what is like the coolest shit that everybody's aping into and is selling for like $1 million? And you know, like Deacon was saying, like these NFTs almost act like a focal point to create a community with aligned interests. Like, how can we reproduce that in our DAO and create like a bunch of people who have ownership in these DAOs, and then they have a very strong vested interest in our protocol. Anyways, you guys can ideate on that. No, like, just think outside the box if you want. And then the other group is around the coalition. So what we want to do is create a set of applications building on the protocol that are, you know, they have aligned interests. And anyways, we can talk about that. I'll be in the coalition group. For the other groups in the NFT rooms, yeah, just, you know, ideate. Let me just move a few of you around. 1 second. 3, 2. Okay. All right. So we're going in. Please take some notes. If one of the people in the group want to be leader to like try to coordinate things, it sometimes helps. We'll see you guys in like 20 minutes, and then we'll have 10 minutes to chat. Open all rooms. All right.
到我怎么切啊？
可以再讲的我也不知道。这个意思。
你这被切到点，
那我再剪，怎么看再剪？录一，我在一。
他被分配的好像只能那个。你看被分配了，还有。
要不你就这边到我的时候，你跟他聊；这边到你的时候，你再聊一遍。就是那个。
我只能到3了。
你不到，那你不到一怎么演示？还是好像不用演示啊？
这是扔点。
那就到。
没有讨论组2，主要是。在这有个 proposal ideas， 你要。
What's up, guys?
Anyone else bidding on portals and Avigati right now?
Hello.
Send the link, dude.
The second honk came out today. You got to bid on portals.
Ooh.
All right, so we got 10 minutes, 8 minutes. Would love to hear what people talked about in the NFT groups, and then I took some notes in the other one, so I can go over kind of what we chatted about. But who wants to go first? You got like 3 minutes each, and I hope you guys took notes.
Natalie, do you want to speak for our team? I did.
Oh, well, I can. You can start. Well, you have the most notes, and I'll elaborate.
Okay. Okay. All right. You could add on. All right. So in our little group, we have Natalie, Constantine, Michael, Jonathan, and we were talking about how generative art is hot right now. Natalie was talking about async art. I believe it was Michael who mentioned that the problem with NFTs is that it's not accessible so much to normies. One example would be like, how do I explain NFTs to my family, which also is my challenge as well. Also one thing that was brought up was like how there are NFTs that are I guess budget wise just like too far out of reach. So yeah, I mean we acknowledge that. One thing that is really very exciting, I guess, as we move towards the future would be generative NFTs tied to community and tied to DAO. So like collective ownership, collective bidding.
Using what DAOHaus is doing, maybe.
1000%. Absolutely. So I think we identified that is where the future is. I think it's highly participatory, and everyone could actually, pitch in, whatever feels right to them. So yeah. And Natalie, do you want to add anything more?
Yeah, along the lines of that, just how like I was, with like team like Discord groups or groups like Woka, how they have done like different collaborative projects and how you can use the community, especially engage newbies to be a part of these projects and engage with, veteran ones in whatever capacity they are. So it's a great way to, engage the community, bring in new people, and yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Who was in the other group? You guys have a cool
Let's see, I can hop in here. It was at the start, it was myself as well as Diego, Mariana, Edward, and Noah. And we were Diego was showing how he's creating some of the animations and some different designs with the Rarible DAO logo itself, and kind of thinking about how you could maybe turn that into its own kind of NFT project where you maybe use even images or collages from the public domain and then integrate the logo somehow to potentially make a project. That was pretty interesting. And then we were thinking about kind of all the projects, Eric, as you said, they spawn pretty active communities overnight if they become popular. So that's interesting. But for a DAO where you have kind of an established mission, more or less, it seems to make more sense if you can create a project where you sort of reward behavior or actually participation, because just having people form a community around a product that they're trying to flip is not necessarily kind of a good way to go if you want kind of long-term interaction with the DAO. So maybe thinking about reward structures where maybe you have, in collaboration with Rari Token as well, you could have people that participate, maybe they vote or some other participation in the DAO, they get access to either purchasing or they receive NFTs as a reward. As another kind of benefit. Even could do that with app mining program. You have some NFT project where developers that are using the protocol, their platform can also kind of distribute some NFTs in addition to Rari. So different reward structures, but trying to align active participation with distribution of NFTs could be pretty interesting.
That's interesting. Cool. Any other thoughts on the NFT side?
Yeah, I can chime in. We had another small group, it's myself, Sarmad, I believe Jose, and sorry if I missed anyone. I think Diego was in there too. Kind of building off what was just said, Sarmad actually raised an interesting question, which is like, you know, what's the primary difference from the DAO's perspective between just the social token versus potentially using an NFT, you know, generated by the DAO? And we were kind of kicking it around, and I think, you know, a couple of things that came out was like, biggest immediate difference is probably just from like the branding or identity perspective. And it kind of struck us that there might be like a, you know, an overlap between the two topics, actually, like this concept of the coalition or even the incubator that was mentioned earlier. Like, you know, one idea is the DAO could create the NFT, you know, grant them or either offer them based on whatever criteria, whether it's being a member of the coalition or, you know, certain working groups, et cetera. And I think the big difference between the social token and the NFT is that, you know, supporters and folks that then have these NFTs could actually adopt them as part of either their branding, their social media identity. You know, for instance, you know, I'd certainly be open to featuring it like very prominently on the app that I'm building as an example. And that could potentially, you know, kind of kill two birds with one stone, right? Which is like generate interest, get the word out, but also serve as kind of a, you know, reward or incentive for folks that are interested in the protocol, building on the protocol, you know, actually building the protocol itself, et cetera. So anyhow, it seemed like the two topics potentially had a convergence there, potentially.
Super interesting. I really like the idea of maybe combining the coalition concept we're talking about with this NFT project. And I also really love the idea of like, yeah, I mean, why not? This could be like a great marketing tool for like our profile pictures and like, you know, like it could be way more than just like an NFT or generative art. I mean, I guess all these are generally become profile pictures and stuff, but cool, really cool thoughts. Thanks, guys. On my end, I took some notes. I don't know if anyone else did, but I'll just go for it quickly because we have 2 minutes. So we talked about this coalition of projects that are building on the protocol and what type of like economies of scale we could have for that group. So we talked about like maybe we do biz dev and recruiting at the protocol level and user testing for different applications and things and provide services to applications building on the protocol to basically get them up and running as quickly as possible. We talked about like media and how we can create like a media arm to the protocol where we market and promote and create really cool content about all the projects, and it becomes just the place to get like all the coolest, hottest things of, you know, anything going on in NFT, but in the protocol. Apparently A16Z is doing something like that with their portfolio companies. There's also some cost saving opportunities like Pinata hosting for IPFS and, you know, like potentially fiat onboarding and stuff like that. They usually charge a fee, but if we do it as a network and we say, hey, like we want a really good deal because we have like 30 applications, we could potentially negotiate, which could be kind of cool. And then we also talked about how to actually get Rarible token holders ownership in the different projects and the applications on the network. In order for us to really create like a solid networked economy where everybody has shared interests and benefits in each other, shared ownership is important. And so, you know, if Rarible tokens own Mintgate tokens and they own DAOHaus tokens, then it immediately creates alignment between all the different projects building on the protocol. And I think it's important in order to create like a tight economy that like everybody benefits and you know, supports each other. So we talked about that briefly, but that's what we had on our side. Cool. 11 o'clock. Thanks everyone. We made it just on time. Thanks for hanging out.
Guys.
Thanks all the new people. It was really nice seeing you. We'll chat next week.
Peace, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.
Guys.